Hey, welcome back to the Build Show Network. Steve Basic here. I'm out on the job site out here. We have modern renovations. We're doing a small garage and home gym here. You know, with COVID, there's a lot of spaces that have now become somewhat the norm for people, and we're doing this home gym here. But today, we're going to concentrate on this beautiful mock-up that Victor and his guys did, and we're going to talk about the Rainscreen. So, first of all, mock-up does a couple things. One, it shows the guys on the crew what we expect. It allows me to see what kind of work they're doing and making sure that we're getting the design intent right. But three, that a lot of people don't ever use it as a tool. You bring the homeowners out here and you explain to them what you're doing in the mock-up and why the building science is working. And that elevates your position as a builder, that you're actually using science to the benefit of their project. So you can see here, we have the Anderson windows. It's been installed, flashed. The zip wall has been properly taped. Notice that all the laps are proper laps. It's been rolled thoroughly. It even says roll the tape on there. And then we have our 1x casing, our historic sill, which is a 6/4 sill. We have Benjamin Obdike's home slicker, which it's probably about a little more than 1/4 of an inch. And then we have our door casing here. And again, it's a mock-up, so this will get cleaned up here when we actually put the door in. And then we have our traditional lap siding happening here. But the purpose of the Rainscreen is twofold. It's to drain water, but it's also to help the wall dry. And when we get back to the studio, we're going to talk about that in depth. But before we head over there, I just want to do a quick mock-up. I got some tools of my own. So you can see here, this is just a basic funnel, but when I pour the water in, you can see at the bottom of the wall how that drains out. Really nice. So we have that draining capability happening at our wall system, and then we have that drying capacity too. So let's head back to the studio. We'll pull up the drawing and we'll talk a little bit more about Rainscreens.
Hey everybody, hopefully you enjoyed that little trip out to the job site. Victor and his crew doing a hell of a job out there, but always great to see Rainscreens in action. You know, as an architect, my whole life revolves around planning, and it's great to see things being executed with that mock-up and seeing things work actually as they're planned. So anyways, got Big Red. I broke out the wall section from that project, and let's have a little bit of chat about the benefits of a Rainscreen. So let's have at it.
All right. So there is the detail from that wall. Let's talk a little bit about Rainscreens. So give you some orientation. There is interior gypsum board that'll go on that wall. This is that exterior zip sheathing. Then we have the Benjamin Obdike. It's called Home Slicker. And it's nothing more than this plastic yellow mesh that is probably on the order somewhere in like the 1/4 inch range for thickness there. And then of course we have wood lap siding on there. So let's talk about Rainscreens. Write some of this stuff out, and I know most of you know how to spell it, but Rainscreen. You know, in my time, I've heard them called pressure equalized Rainscreens, pressure screen, all kinds of simple names. But for us, we're just going to keep it simple.
call it a rain screen. So what does a rain screen do? Well, it basically has two functions. Now, most people concentrate on the draining of a rain screen. So that's job number one. And, you know, you've heard me talk about water before. So if water migrates into the system here through the joints, lap joints, gets blown in, all that good stuff. Well, and it will. Don't think it won't. It will. That water needs to go because remember, we call it water management, right? It's not water barrier. It's water management. So we have to manage the water. So the first thing we have to do is drain that water. So any water that gets into that system has the ability to migrate via gravity, which is always a good force. Why? Because gravity's free. It's non-mechanical. Right? It just exists. So that's good. We have things in our favor. So drain it. And because it's water management, you've heard me say down and out. And that's what we're doing. Any moisture, water that gets into the system will drain down and out. And keep in mind, you're not getting gallons and gallons of water back there, but you could potentially accumulate enough in certain areas where it could have a problem. So the way we get rid of problems is we drain them down and out. Now, some of that moisture that gets into that system is going to migrate into the system. And it's going to get taken up by the zip and the clapboard, the lap siding, all of that stuff. So if we blow that up a little, let's see here. Yeah. All right. So you have the stud wall, and then we have a space here. That's our Benjamin Opdyke. And then we have our lap siding. See. All right. Moisture gets in there. We want to drain it. But if moisture gets in there and gets taken up into the siding or into the sheathing, then the second thing we're asking the rain screen to do is to provide drying. Right? So if we get a little bit of ventilated air in there, then what we do is we're going to whisk away and give that moisture a place to go. Now, here we're using the Benjamin Opdyke home slicker, but a lot of times you see me use 1x3s. So there's all kinds of ways to create a drain and drying pathway. But what's important to understand is that it's not only about draining the water out, it's about drying that those materials out. So you get to dry that wall out from both directions, but you also get to dry the back side of the wood lap siding. Now, why do you care about that? Well, if I draw a piece of lap siding here, right, and then the next piece is there. Right. So I paint it and I put a coating on there. Well, moisture is going to get in there. It will. And then the sun is going to come out. When the sun comes out, that moisture is going to want to migrate out of the system. And if I give it a place to dry, then I can severely reduce the amount of moisture that's back there. But if I don't give it a place to dry, I can potentially accumulate some moisture back there. Sun comes out, that moisture wants to dry. Well, what's the first thing that it gets challenged by? Paint film, right? And so what happens? Well, in year 1, 2 of the paint job, the paint wins the battle. Year 3, it starts to weaken. 4, until that clapboard face starts to develop a little blister, because that moisture is starting to win. And then that develops a bigger blister, and a bigger, until that blister pops. And then the moisture is released. And that is simple paint peeling. Right? So guess what? A rain screen, because of its drying, helps fight paint peeling also, because it gives moisture a place to go via drying. So due to our water management, we can take what could potentially be a 7-year paint job and double or triple its lifespan. Right? So the rain screen here, a lot of people want to look at it as a cost. Well, it's really not a cost, it's an investment. And I know some of you might think, hey, this is a push, Steve, but the house that I'm in right now, I have a vented rain screen on the back. It's lap siding. It's painted. We're probably in our 11th year, and the paint looks brand new. So it works. Anyways, hey, take note of the detail here. So we have our insulation coming down. Look at that, beautiful. So we wrap that curb with rigid. We had rigid at the head of the slab, and then we had rigid underneath the slab. So it's a fully conditioned space, and guess what? We have continuity of our insulation. So, little byproduct of the sketch there. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed that. All right. It's another one in the books. Hopefully, that little run with Big Red talking about vented rain screens helps out a little to understand them a little bit better. So hopefully you enjoyed that. If you want more, all the contributors are throwing up a video a week on the Build Show Network. Yeah, that's 9 new videos, plus Matt's videos on YouTube. So that's a lot of information that you get absolutely free every week. So go check them out. They're all doing a hell of a job. If you're looking for more from me, find me on Instagram, Steve Basic Architect, putting up stuff regularly, and it's free. So lastly, you can catch me on the Unbuild It podcast, where I join Peter and Jake. Yeah, that's right. I remembered his name. Anyways, the 3 of us chatted up everything building. Everything from our favorite books to Q&A to building science, construction. It's all there. So anyways, go check it out. And until next time, long live our buildings.